Well, hello there, beautiful people. We are back on the road again, and we are headed to Shanks Ferry Wildflower Preserve. And although we will not be exploring the Wildflower Preserve, I have something even cooler in store for you. Tunnels? Yes. Tunnels and culverts built for the Enola low grade. But I'm not going to give it away all just yet. Wait and find out. First, let's get parked and then we will hit the trail. If you're enjoying my content, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Leah here, LeahDoersNation, and we are back on the trail. Today we are at Shanks Ferry Wildflower Preserve, and we are going to hike the Enola low grade. In fact, we are in search of some treasure, as a bank robber during the Great Depression robbed a bank in Philadelphia and not only hid his treasure along these tunnels and culverts, but he also made a treasure map. Yes, he did. So we are going to follow that treasure map today and explore. Yes, this trip does require a headlamp. Boom, which makes it even cooler. And we are going to travel through some tunnels and some culverts, so you should be excited. Let me guide the way for you. We are currently at the parking lot here at Shanks Ferry Wildflower Preserve, and my car is parked in this parking lot here. Now, although I wanted to show you the trail map, we are not actually going to be in the Wildflower Preserve today. We are going to be hiking along some of the rail trail anyway. And just so you folks have a heads up, this trail does follow some of the railroad. And of course, since this is in a conservancy, we are going to make sure that we leave this trail exactly how we found it, if not better. So let's get to hiking. There are two different ways to start your journey. The hard way, you are going to follow the railroad tracks. Wow, is that ever beautiful? If you're looking for an easier way, you can start your trek at Safe Harbor South Wall Trailhead entrance and make a right on the Enola low grade. Throughout this entire trek, you are going to be listening for water and looking for paths that it would appear a deer has created. Speaking of deer paths, there were deer tracks everywhere and not a whole lot of human tracks, if you know what I'm saying. If you are looking for paths that are well maintained, this is not the area for you. These trails are not marked and they are merely deer paths. Listen for the water. Boom! We're at our first set of tunnels. Let's explore. These culverts were designed to divert the water underneath the Enola low grade. And I am going to tell you all about this engineering feat referred to as the Enola low grade. Why, the how, and what happened while they were building this engineering masterpiece. But first, so you are aware, when you get to your first set of tunnels, it is quite narrow in order to enter the left-hand side. The right-hand side, I could not see light through, so I would assume that it is blocked up. But you are going to want to squat walk to get in here, and then it opens up as you get inside of the tunnel. all throughout the tunnel are beautiful rocks. Make sure to check them out. Rich in iron and what looks like pyrite, glittering everywhere. It is so cool. Literally, it really is cool. It's super chilly in these tunnels, but amazing on a hot day. And you want to wear some shoes that are either waterproof or water shoes because you can expect to get wet. Now, I realize for a lot of people that it might take a little bit of courage and bravery in order to step inside of these tunnels, or better known as culverts, but I can assure you that the only critters that I saw were frogs and some bugs. So it was safe travels for me and most certainly worth it. I mean, look at how neat this is. Wowza! Like stepping into a history book. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so grateful that I get to share it with you. I would, however, highly recommend that you at least bring a headlamp or a flashlight, as you definitely want to see your footing. There is different areas inside of all of these tunnels that may cause a bit of a trip up for you if you can't see your footing. So throw on the headlamp, get out your GPS, and hit the trail. This is most certainly a must-see. But don't leave the comfort of your couch quite yet. I have tons of history to share with you so that while you're experiencing this for yourself, you truly get the entire experience. Wow, how cool is this? Hello there, little buddy. We have officially made it out the other side of the culvert. And again, I just want to stress that these tunnels were not necessarily made for humans to walk through, nor are the trails really super friendly to anybody who isn't accustomed to adventuring. So you have a heads up. There's the tunnel. You come up this hill here, and hopefully I am met with the rail trail. Deer tracks. Boom. There we go. Fabulous. This trail is also known as the Enola low-grade trail. Once you get to the Enola low-grade trail, you are going to make a right, and again, listen for water and follow the small path to your right. Well, this looks fun. We are about to trek into the second set of tunnels. Here we go. In 1903, they started construction of the tunnels and culverts, which we are exploring today. To this day, these tunnels and culverts are one of the greatest engineering marvels of Lancaster County. The goal of the Enola low-grade? Well, it was to create a railroad line with no slope steeper than 1%, and no curve sharper than 2 degrees. Now, although this seems pretty simple on paper, in 1903, without all of the modern equipment that we have today, it was quite the feat. The Pennsylvania Railroad deployed over 1,000 men and 150 horses in order to start this project. Now, there was a whole lot of dynamite involved and danger, as the steep slope along the Susquehanna River needed to be blasted into pieces in order to create the low grade. The dynamite used during this project was often hoisted up by hand on the cliff edges and blasted over and over again until it reached its desired elevation. The goal of this project was to get it done as quick as possible, and that meant that safety was an afterthought. The persistent use of explosives made the job dangerous, and flying debris and premature detonations killed and injured scores of men. 200 lives were claimed, 11 of which were killed during the dynamite factory explosion 7 weeks after the dedication of the Enola low grade. So this project cost a lot of men's lives. But in addition to that, in 1903, this project cost $19.5 million. In today's money, folks, that is $548 million. Yes, $548 million. Wow. The cost of transportation was high. Okay, that's enough history for the moment. Let's explore. And wow, is this ever awesome to explore. Get out and hit the trail. But first, let's see what else is in store for you. So you don't miss any of the juicy details, of course. There is so much more to come. If you are looking for an awesome place to adventure, this is definitely the spot to come. Like treasure hidden around every turn. Oh, and speaking of treasure, I had mentioned in the beginning of this video about a bank robber who hid treasure along these tunnels. Yes, he did. A bold bank thief actually robbed a bank in the Philadelphia area, and then he escaped west via train and ended up here at the Enola low grade. His mission was, of course, to hide all of his gems and jewels along the Susquehanna and then escape into the work camp that was building Safe Harbor Dam. Once the heat was off, he was going to snag his jewels and then head off a wealthy man. Unfortunately, fate, well, it had a different plan for him. He died soon after he arrived at the workers' camp in a drunken altercation. All knowledge of the gems and their location was lost. Well, that is until his diary was recently discovered, and he left clues and pictures that he drew inside of this diary in which you can use to help find the treasure. All of this can be found on Uncharted Lancaster under Tunnels of Enola Adventure. Very neat. Alrighty, so let me get back to the trail here. If you guys are traversing the hard way, this is going to take you in one side of the tunnel and out the other while looking for the next trail to get to the next tunnel. Again, this entire time, you are going to want to listen for water. They aren't super well-marked trails, but you can see it as long as you have intuition. And here we are at our third tunnel. While you're exploring these tunnels, I would keep in mind that in the early 1900s, they did not have the modern conveniences of today. Some of these rocks are as large as 3 feet wide. Now, I'm not sure if you realize how heavy that is, but that is very heavy. And that's why this engineering is so marvelous. So please, I can't stress enough. Imagine this being done by hand, that the excavation was done with dynamite, and then men came after with pickaxes and created all of this. Again, it is like stepping through a history book. Put yourself back in 1903. Someone must have been tired. Ha ha ha. All jokes aside, this bothers me so much to see trash along such gorgeous terrain. It is unfortunate. I believe that I'm going to be making a phone call and we are going to get these puppies out of there. Whoop whoop. Let's clean up nature. Except for this. What is it? Well, this is a wrecked boxcar. Let me tell you all about it. Often referred to as the Safe Harbor Christmas train accident, in 1981, a freight train collided with a 3-ton boulder below Safe Harbor. On December 23rd, a 3-ton boulder broke free from the sheer cliffs of the Susquehanna. I have no doubts that there was probably a fracture created from all of the blasting in order to create the enolalowgrade. This fell onto both tracks as the 82-car Conrail hauled its way through. It collided and had all of the 13 cars fold like an accordion behind it. The 4-man crew tried to escape prior to the collision, and only 3 of them were successful. The accident peeled up 300 feet of tracks in both lanes and caused $500,000 in damage. The caustic liquid pooled up in the culvert that we just walked through actually, and did not flow into the Susquehanna River. Today, the only thing that remains of the accident was the boxcar that we just explored along the enolalowgrade. You gotta check it out. It's pretty interesting. Alrighty, enough exploring here. Let's get back to the enolalowgrade so we can explore the last tunnel. Okay, I know that I have mentioned a ton of reasons to come visit this area, but here is another one for you. When they did all of that blasting to create the enolalowgrade, not only did it create a railroad line, but it also created all of these incredible rock faces. Perfect for your next rock climbing adventure, anchors included. It is incredible. As you walk along the trail, look for Safe Harbor Hydroelectric Plant in the distance. And when the topography changes, look for a small footpath to your right, and that is going to lead you to the 4th and final tunnel along this trail. Keep an eye out for all of the numbers marking the tunnels throughout your adventure here at the enolalowgrade. I found this tunnel extra interesting, and you definitely want to keep your eyes peeled as you walk through it, as it's, well, obviously incredible, but there is also a really neat stalactite along the way. As you make your way through, you can see that this tunnel is broken up into two different pieces. And where you can see the sun shining down, it is often referred to as the Hall of the Mountain King. It's pretty obvious why. And here is kind of where my adventure stopped. The rust inside of these tunnels and my knees said, no thank you, but if you are a completionist, you can make your way all the way through. This girl, I'm gonna peer through it instead. How neat is this? As I make my way back up through this tunnel, I think about all of the amazing things that we got to see today. And I hope that you watch this video and it encourages you to take the trek as well, because you deserve it. And being out in nature is beautiful. Now, I know that these tunnels and these culverts were made by man. But as you can see, nature begins to take its toll and take back what was rightfully its own. So you better get out here before it's all gone. There are so many treasures to take in, and I am so excited that I have the opportunity to share it with you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this adventure as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you today. Get out to the enolalowgrade trail and explore it for yourself. Oh, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me out greatly, and I'll get to share more and more incredible adventure with you along the way. Come on, folks, let's do this together. See you on the next one.